video of the apartment that we chose. Hello you guys, welcome back to another video. This one's going to be very exciting because, as you can tell, I am no longer in my childhood home. We are currently sitting in my apartment. We've been here for about a week and a half now and we absolutely love the place so much. And I wanted to start off this little moving series and moving in series by doing a little bit of an HGTV style apartment hunting video. I think that would be so much fun. I took videos of all of the apartments that we toured for memory purposes, and I was like, why don't I just repurpose those videos and put them into a YouTube video for you guys to see and kind of look at what we've been looking at. So that is the idea for this video, and I cannot wait to show you guys the apartment that I picked. I will be showing you the apartment that we picked at the end of the video, but I don't want you to skip all the way to the end because otherwise what's the point? So as we're going through all these apartments, let me know down below what apartment you think that I picked, because I would love to know your thoughts before I actually tell you the apartment. I know it's not just me, it's me and my fiance, although he's not going to be in any of the videos. He's currently at work actually, so this is the perfect time for me to do this video. But yeah, he's not going to be in any of the videos probably, or at least not a whole ton. He might be in some time lapses here and there, but other than that, it's not going to be much of him. It's just going to be me on camera, and I hope you guys are okay with that. I want to respect his boundaries. But anyways, with that said, we're going to get into the apartment hunting. I'm going to tell you a little bit as far as what we were kind of looking for, and then we'll get into the nitty-gritty details. If you're new around here, first of all, hi, my name is Emily. I don't think I actually introduced myself in this video, but I am from the Western North Carolina area, so think Asheville, Morganton, that kind of thing. And my fiance is from the Hickory area, and we decided neither of us wants to stay in either of our hometowns anymore. We've been long distance for a while, and we were like, let's just move in together. So because neither of us wanted to stay in our hometowns anymore, we decided to move to a completely new area of North Carolina. We're still here, largely because he got an awesome job in this area, but we have officially moved to the Piedmont Triad area of North Carolina. So that includes 3 major cities: Greensboro, Winston-Salem, and High Point. It's like a triangle, hence the reason why it's called the Triad area. I'm not going to actually say which city we're living in because of safety purposes. I don't want that getting out into the world, but I just wanted to let you know that this is now the area of the state that we're living in, and we absolutely love it over here. So with the location stuff out of the way, I'm going to pull up my must-have list on my computer. I have a full list of things that we liked and didn't like from every apartment, because we did tour 10 apartments. Well, we toured more than that, but I'm going to be showing you 10 apartments that I took video of, and we can look through them together, and I'll show you guys kind of what we liked and didn't like about each one. So let me pull up my must-have list and we'll get into this big old video. Definitely grab yourself a drink and a snack because it's gonna be a long one. Okay, starting off with our non-negotiables list. Our must-haves, we aren't going to consider it unless they don't have all of these things. First thing being, it has to be within our budget. Our budget was about $1,300 to $1,400. It could be above if we really loved it, but we wanted to stay sub $1,400 if possible. So that was kind of the base rent budget that we were working with. We knew we were going to be paying a little bit more for utilities, and some places have extra fees and whatever, so we were like, base rent has to be within $1,300 to $1,400. He is also used to driving at least an hour to go to work every day, which sounds so excessive, and that's because it is. He was living in the middle of nowhere. He was commuting an hour into work every day, and he was like, I don't want to do that anymore. It has to be within 30 minutes of my work. But the biggest thing that we wanted was a safe area. Obviously, with big cities like this, it is inevitable to have places in the area that are not quite as safe as they should be, and we decided to do a little bit of research as far as crime rates go and all of that, making sure that we are truly in a safe area of the city. So we were able to kind of narrow down things based on that as well, and we found all of the neighborhoods that we were looking at are relatively safe. There were some that felt a little bit sketchy, so I didn't include them in this list of things. They were things that we kind of knocked off immediately. Like I said, we did tour 16 apartments, and 6 of them were in areas that we weren't exactly in love with, so we decided to nix them from the list anyway. Our non-negotiable biggest thing was it had to be in a safe neighborhood. We needed to have parking for both of our cars. Surprisingly enough, one of the places that we looked at did not have parking for both cars. For some reason, even though it was a 2-bedroom apartment, they only had parking for 1 car per unit, so that made 0 sense to us. We need to have both cars here. I feel like that's kind of inevitable and really shouldn't be an issue, but apparently it was. So parking for both of us was an absolute need. As far as things like square footage goes, we wanted at least 850 square feet and 2 bedrooms because I knew that I was probably going to end up working from home. And even if I wasn't working from home, we needed a place to put our desks because I do content on the side and he has a very extensive desk setup, and we didn't want to have that in the main living space or in our main bedroom. So we wanted an extra bedroom dedicated to like office / playtime, if that makes sense. For me personally, I wanted a lot of natural light. Considering I love to film videos and stuff, I don't do it like as a job. It's just a fun thing for me. I love having natural light. I'm a big like natural light over like big artificial lights person, and I wanted to have a lot of windows, a lot of natural light coming in. So that was like a non-negotiable for me. He didn't really care about that a whole lot, but for me personally, I was like, I need this place to be as bright as it can be. Another thing that we wanted was an in-unit washer and dryer hookup at the very least. If it came with units, that was great, but luckily for us, if it didn't come with units, we had options as far as getting our own units. He has his parents' old units from their old house that they brought with them, so they were just in storage anyway. So we decided if they don't come with units, we're going to just bring his parents' old units because they gave them to us anyway, and we'll have them for free either way. So we just wanted them to be in the unit is the biggest thing. We didn't want to have like a shared laundry space. And a big thing is we both like our belongings. I have all sorts of little products and tchotchkes and little collectible things, and he has a ton of collectible things as well. And so we were like, we want to have as much storage space as we can so that we can hold our own belongings in our own home and not have to use our parents' houses as like storage spaces until we get an actual house. So we wanted to have as much storage space as we could. So that is our non-negotiables list. I'm going to now go into our negotiables, which are like our nice to have things, but it's not like an absolute deal breaker if we didn't get any of these things. First thing was bathroom quantity. We knew we needed one because obviously it's not really an apartment without a bathroom, but we didn't really care if it was 1 or 2 bathrooms or even 1.5 bathrooms. We looked at a little bit of everything, and I'll show you all of those like I said as well. But we would have loved to have 2 bathrooms, but if it's just 1 bathroom or 1.5 bathrooms, it's not the end of the world. So our ideal situation would have been 2 bathrooms, but it would have been fine if it was just 1. And I know I talked about this already, but the in-unit washer and dryer, if the pieces are included, great. If they're not, it's no biggie. Another negotiable was upgraded appliances / renovations. It would have been nice to have renovations, but if the renovations were out of budget and they had an unrenovated version that was still relatively nice, it wouldn't have been the end of the world for us. So the upgrades would have been great, but it wasn't a deal breaker if there weren't any upgrades available. And the last thing on this list were the amenities. So we knew that we were going to be going into an apartment complex. We knew that we wanted to be surrounded by other apartments. We didn't want to have like a one-off building or anything like that. So we knew that we were going to be in an area with amenities. We just didn't really care what those amenities were, whether there was a pool or not. We didn't really care about the status of like a gym because neither of us really use a true gym. But if there was a gym, then that's great. If there was a pool, that was great. But we didn't really care about the kinds of amenities that there were available. And speaking of amenities, a little disclaimer here. I did not show the actual amenities in any of these videos. I felt that that was kind of unnecessary. We were really looking at the apartment as a whole. So all of the places that we were looking at all had complex clubhouse type things, but they're not going to be shown in the videos. So I'm getting a random phone call. I hope that's actually spam because everything that we've been doing for like furniture shopping and stuff has been like, we'll call you about a delivery day. So like, I don't know if this number is a spam or not, so I'm just gonna let it go to voicemail and see what happens. But anyways, with that, we're going to get into the actual apartments, and this is where the juicy stuff is because we found some really cute options. Something else that I realized that should have been on the negotiables list is having a microwave or a dishwasher, because those things are things that we quickly realized that we would have preferred to have, especially a microwave. I didn't want to have a counter microwave. The dishwasher wasn't like the end of the world, but we still would have liked to have those if possible. So anyways, let's get into the actual apartments. We're going to start off with apartment number 1. This place was 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, about 1,100 square feet, and a little bit more than $1,000 a month, which was the cheapest place that we have on this list that we actually really like. Going into the actual apartment, the way that this place worked was you walked into the hallway area, and then there was like a round corner, and then you get into the main living spaces. So this whole place was like laminate flooring throughout, but the living room had this cutie little fireplace and an entrance to a patio space, which we didn't know if we would actually use or not, but it was there, which was kind of nice, especially for the natural lighting purposes. And then on the opposite side was this little alley kitchen area, so you can tell that the appliances are not entirely updated, but they had like an update previously. This place was about 25 years old, so they had an update 8 or 9 years ago, so the appliances are not like absolutely modernized, but they still work fine. Something that we did notice was that it did not have a microwave or a dishwasher, so we were like, that's a little hard, especially with it being such tight counter space. We didn't want to have to clutter that with the microwave, like a countertop appliance, so that was something that we didn't really like about the place. But you can also tell throughout all of this that the natural lighting is minimal at best. There are big windows, but like they don't really do a whole lot for the space because everything is gray. So going into the bedrooms, we went into the guest bedroom first. This place had a really cute like window space on the wall, although it was kind of small room in general. It had a nice little ensuite bathroom and a nice deep closet. It wasn't walk-in per se, but it was a very deep closet, which was nice. This room would have been our like home office type of thing. The main bedroom was a little bit different. It had an entrance to the patio, which was kind of cool. I think that's what made it the master bedroom. That and this huge closet that they had in there. I was like, holy cow, that's a lot of space. And the bathroom was relatively the same as the other one. That is that first apartment. As far as pros and cons go, pros were it was in budget. Obviously. Very, very much in budget, actually. It was also within commuting distance. It was within that half-hour mark for Zeke to get to work and back. It was also relatively updated. Like, there weren't a whole ton of truly modern things going on in there, but it was updated enough to where it was, like, up to our standards. And something else that we really loved about this apartment is the fact that it was in a gated neighborhood. It had, like, a key fob gate that you had to use to get into the place. And we were like, that's actually really nice. As far as like safety goes, it checked that box for us for sure. As far as cons go, the location within the city was not the ideal place. It wasn't in like the absolute nicest part of the city, but it was like also not in the like slummy parts, the like dangerous parts of the city. It was kind of in between, and it was closer to the parts that we didn't really want to be in. So that was kind of a turn off for us. And like I said, the microwave or dishwasher thing was definitely a con for us. With the price and everything, there's a reason why they weren't included, but also it would have been nice to have, you know what I mean? And the biggest con about this place is we read reviews after we viewed this place because we were like, is this place too good to be true? It's in such a great like gated community. It's a little bit far away from everything. Should we just like try and sign now? And we looked at reviews and they said that the parking police in that place was terrible. Like they would tow for like the little nitty picky details. They would give you tickets all the time, and we were like, we don't want to have to worry about our cars all the time while living in our own home. So that was definitely a turn off for us. And spoiler alert, we did not choose this place because of that mostly, and the location within the city. Okay, my camera is dying, so I'm going to try and do this as fast as I can. But our second place was 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 1,000 square feet, and roughly $1,260 a month. Some of these videos, I'm going to go ahead and say right now, for some reason I started in the back of the place and worked forward, so you're going to see bedrooms first. It is what it is, okay? But anyways, the place that I started out first in this video was the master bedroom. The master bedroom was really nice. It was relatively well lit, ensuite bathroom as well with a nice walk-in closet. There was also a detached bathroom for guests to use, and people that were coming over or whatever could use that bathroom instead of our personal bathroom, which was nice. There was also a laundry hookup station with a dedicated room, like a dedicated nook for them, which was nice. The guest bedroom, they staged it as like a kid's bedroom, but we would use this place as an office, and it had such great lighting. I loved the lighting in this room, and the closet space was also really, really nice. Going into the main spaces, the thing that I didn't really like about this one was the size of like the dining space. And then the kitchen, you can tell that the appliances weren't like entirely renovated, but like I said, they were functional, and that's what we cared about. There was also a microwave and a dishwasher in here, which we loved. There was an extra pantry space, and then the main living space had a lot of natural light and an attached patio, which was really nice. As far as pros and cons go, pros, I loved the natural lighting. It also had the dedicated laundry space, which we loved. The walk-in closets were really nice. As far as storage goes, the price point, it was in budget, fairly within budget, which was nice. It had 2 bathrooms, which we were kind of preferring at the time. And like I said, it had a microwave and a dishwasher. As far as cons go, the location within the city is kind of in the same boat as the first place. It wasn't in the absolute nicest place, but it was also not within like the slummy parts. It was like an in-between. And then the outward appearance of the place, it looked a little run down on the outside, which was kind of a turnoff for us before we even walked into the unit. But the unit itself was nice. So like, were we willing to give up the outward appearance for the inside? And was it a little too in budget? Like, is that a problem? I don't know. And then the updated appliances, like I said, were not ideal deal, but they weren't a deal breaker either. So that was apartment number 2. Apartment number 3. This place was 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 1,000 square feet, and roughly $13.50 a month for rent. So well within our budget. It was comfortable for us. The way that this apartment worked was a little weird. You walk into like the front door and you're immediately met with the guest room. For some reason, I don't know why, but the guest room was like right immediately straight into the apartment. It was still a really nice guest room though. It had a nice little corner window. It was natural lit. It had a sink detached, so it had like a water closet and then a sink. It felt like a hotel, honestly. You know how hotels do that, where like they put the toilet and the shower in like a separate room, and then the sink is like part of the main living space. They did that with this place. And there was also a nice closet space that had a lot of shelving and storage, which we loved. Like I said, that was a must-have for us. And then you walk into the main living space where you can see a little dining room area. The kitchen though was very, very small with relatively little to no counter space. Wasn't our absolute favorite. It did have updated appliances though. It just did not have a microwave. That was a big thing for us, especially with the fact that there weren't a whole ton of counter space. We didn't want to have like a countertop microwave taking up basically the entirety of our counter space. And then you have this little window to go into the main living space so you can see the natural light. There's a patio attached, hardwood all throughout by the way, and a nice little fireplace too, which was cute, a nice touch. And it had a ceiling fan, which my fiance absolutely loved. And then the main bedroom was in the very back of the apartment. It had a nice big window, kind of a small room though. There was a nice walk-in closet in there. The bathroom was actually detached from the room, which wasn't my absolute favorite, but it was still nice to have the double bathrooms. It also had a water closet for the laundry. As far as pros and cons go about this place, first pro was the updated appliances. We loved that everything was updated. There was a dishwasher in there as well, which we loved. We also loved the huge closet space. That guest bedroom had so much storage. I also personally really liked the fact that the guest bathroom had a separate sink. I thought that was kind of cool. And it had laundry, which was awesome. Cons were the layout. I didn't really like how walking into the apartment, it was just the bedroom and you didn't actually like, you had to turn a corner immediately to get into the main living space. I thought that was a little weird. It was also kind of close to out of budget with all of the fees and everything on top of it. It was a little much for us. And then the location was a little far away. It was about 35 minutes away from Zeke's work, so not ideal there. And the fact that there was no microwave and little to no counter space in the kitchen was not our favorite at all. So that was apartment number 3. Apartment number 4. This was a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment, about 1,000 square feet and about $1,200 a month. So we felt like it was still worth seeing. We didn't really know if it was going to be the best bang for our buck, considering it was only 1 bathroom, but we wanted to give it a chance. So getting into the actual apartment, the entire apartment had hardwood floors throughout, and then in the bedrooms they had carpet, so that was kind of nice. I took a video of actually walking through the apartment this time, so you're welcome. We liked that it had nice natural lighting with a big patio window, and then the appliances were relatively updated as well. I liked how bright and light it was. It had a microwave and a dishwasher, which we loved. There was also this little like linen closet space that was in between the main living spaces and the bedrooms. The guest bedroom was carpeted. Like I said, it had a nice big window, but the storage space was like minimal at best. There were these like random 2 built-in shelves and a very, very, very tiny closet, so that wasn't our absolute favorite. There was also a dedicated laundry space, which was nice. There were no units attached though. The units you had to get yourself. Going into the only bathroom in the apartment, there was a full bathroom in this little water closet area with a medicine cabinet attached, and there was an extra sink with an extra medicine cabinet, which I thought was kind of nice, having like a double sink situation. The master bedroom closet was also very nice as far as like a closet goes, and the actual bedroom itself was fairly large and well lit. So that is that apartment. As far as pros and cons go, it was in budget, which was nice. It had a lot of the natural lighting. It had the updated appliances with the microwave and dishwasher, which we loved. It had the dedicated laundry space. It had double sinks, which was really nice, especially in like the fact that there was only 1 bathroom. Like there was a space for someone to wash their hands and a space for someone to actually go to the bathroom and use the shower and stuff. So I thought that was kind of nice. Some cons were the location of the actual apartment complex within the city. It wasn't our absolute favorite location. It wasn't terrible by all means. It was still like built up, but it wasn't the absolute ideal location. It also only had the 1 bathroom, so that's a little bit of a con, but like I said, it's a negotiable, so it wasn't something that was a super big deal. However, the biggest thing that was the problem was the amount of storage space, or lack thereof. There was not a whole lot of storage space in this place at all. Apartment number 5. This was our most budget option that I'm showing you guys. It was a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment, about 880 square feet and roughly $1,100 a month. So getting into the actual video, for some reason I started this video in the closet. I don't know why. I just did, so sorry about that. But this is the guest bedroom closet, so kind of small. The actual bedroom space was also relatively small and a little bit dark, considering that there was like the dark carpet and kind of small windows for the space. It wasn't my absolute favorite. Around the corner was the main bedroom, so that was much bigger, but it still felt a little dark because of the fact that there was like a tiny window in there. There was the same closet space, so not a whole lot of storage in this place, unfortunately. The bathroom was relatively updated, nothing to write home about, but it was doable. It had laundry hookups, which was nice. The units did not come included, but we have the units, so it wasn't a big deal. The main living space was hardwood floor, which was nice, and there was a little bit of light coming in with the windows, but wasn't a whole lot. Like the whole place just felt dark. But it had a really nice updated kitchen with the microwave and dishwasher included. Something that we didn't like about this place though, that I didn't show, was the fact that you have to walk into the building and then it's like a hallway. It's kind of like a hotel where like you walk into your building and then you walk into your room. Like that's how it felt to me. So we didn't really like that a whole lot because it felt like we were, like I said, in a hotel. Also, it smelled kind of weird, so that was a turnoff for us. That was definitely a con. We also didn't really like the fact that it had just the one bathroom. For the space itself, felt like it could have been used a little bit better, and the location within the city wasn't our absolute favorite. But as far as pros go, updated appliances were nice. The microwave and dishwasher was nice. Laundry hookups was nice. It had walk-in closets, but the storage itself wasn't ideal, and it was in budget, but was it a little too much in budget for what we were wanting? Probably. So that was that apartment. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you right now, we did not get this place. It was on the bottom of our list. So apartment number 6. This place was a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom place. It was like 1,000 square feet. It was about $14.10 a month. So a little bit more on the higher end for what we were looking for, but it was still worth it to us to look at it. The thing about this place though was that it was a little far away. It was about 40 minutes away from Zeke's work, so not ideal, but the complex itself was really nice. It was a cute little like area, so we'll get into the actual videos now. Walking in, you can see that it has like the hardwood laminate throughout. It had really nice lateral lighting in the place. There was like a patio space, but it had kind of a small kitchen. It was updated, which was nice, but it was not a whole lot of room to work with. They had like this little island that acted as also like a dining space, so that wasn't our absolute favorite. They could have used the space a little bit better, but we did like that it was updated and there was a microwave and a dishwasher involved. And in this kitchen too was the laundry space, and then walking down the hallway there was the main bathroom. So the main bathroom was not attached to the bedroom for some reason, but it was a very nice big updated bathroom. It was really cute. And then the bedroom itself was nice, big window. There was a good walk-in closet in there. It was relatively well laid out as far as like the bedroom goes. And then the guest bedroom was kind of small, but that's expected for a guest bedroom. And the bathroom for this bedroom was attached. It was a half bath though, so it wasn't like a full bathroom with a shower. They would have had to use our shower if we had someone staying with us. And then he also had a relatively nice closet space as well. So for pros and cons, this place had a really cute outward appearance. The complex was really nice and built up and updated and very like luxe looking, so that's probably why it was a little bit more expensive. There was a lot of natural light in the place. There were good appliances and renovations throughout. Dishwasher and microwave were awesome. The laundry hookups were also really nice. Relatively large rooms as well, and having the extra half bath was nice. The cons were the fact that the kitchen was so tiny. It was not our absolute favorite. That was probably our least favorite part of the place, and the location. The location was just too far, so we ended up not getting this one either. As much as we loved it, if it were like 10 minutes within the city limit, that would have been great, but we ended up not going with this one. We're getting into the good ones, guys. These next 4 places are places that we had like neck and neck with each other, and we really had to figure out what we really loved about each place and kind of knock it down from there. But apartment number 7, 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 1,035 square feet, and roughly $1,370 a month. So within our price point, it was in a really good location as well. So let's get into the actual apartment. This place had carpet all the way throughout. It had really nice natural lighting. It had a really cute office area, which was the first thing that we saw. We were like, there's a sunroom. They set it up as an office, and I absolutely loved that. You can see that in my face. I was like, oh my gosh, this is actually perfect. And then walking into the kitchen area, it's a very small kitchen. There were options to have the updated version, which is the white version that you're seeing now. The updated version had like black appliances and like regular wood cabinets and stuff. It had the microwave and dishwasher included as well. It had this cutie little like hidey hole going into the main living space. There was also very small dining area, which was probably our least favorite part about the place, but it was still really cute for the living space. There is also a space for laundry hookups. The units units were not included, but the laundry hookups were there, which was nice. And then walking into the guest bedroom, it was relatively well lit, a little small as far as space goes, but we liked the fact that there was an ensuite bathroom with a full shower, so if we had people coming over, they could basically use that space as their own. And then there was a nice walk-in closet there as well. Our master bedroom in here, this was pretty much the same size as the guest bedroom, and the walk-in closet was a little bit larger, but the best thing about this apartment, you can see it in my face too, was the size of the bathroom. Look at how big this place is. I was totally mind blown. So that is that 7th apartment. The location was really nice. It was out of the way enough, but also close to everything, and it was in a nice part of the city. The price point also was in budget and comfortably so. There was the sunroom office space, which was really cute. That was something that we were like, holy cow, this definitely is a selling point for us. We loved that the 2 bathrooms had the ensuite option, the updated appliances with the microwave and dishwasher, lots of windows, there was walk-in closets, and that huge bathroom. As far as cons go, with there being a lot of windows, the natural lighting itself was not great. The windows were not very proportionate to the walls, I noticed anyway, and the small dining space was also kind of a con for us, but this place was really, really nice. Apartment number 8. This was a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment, about 1,100 square feet and roughly $1,450 for rent. So on the higher price point, and with all of the like utilities added on, there were extra fees on top of everything. So it ended up being like $1,650 total. So it was out of our price range, but we decided to give it a try anyway, give it an open mind. If we absolutely loved it, we were willing to go for it. So going into the actual apartment video, walking in, you go immediately to this little linen closet slash mudroom type of thing where you can put like your shoes and your coats and stuff. There was also this guest bedroom right next to the entryway with nice big windows, an ensuite, full bathroom, which was nice, and a very nice walk-in closet. Everything was carpeted, by the way, except for the kitchen and the bathrooms, and the entryway was all like tile. And then going further down the hallway, there was the laundry spaces, which was nice. They had hookups and units included, which the units would have been rented through them, so an even bigger utility fee, which was unfortunate. The actual kitchen though was so nice. It was very spacious, very much updated. They had the microwave and dishwasher included, a little pantry as well. It was really, really nice, but a big selling point was the living room. There was a gas fireplace, vaulted ceilings, and a ceiling fan in this room, which was really, really nice. We loved that about it. And then going into the main bathroom where it was like Jack and Jill style, so you had like the main updated bathroom, and then it also had a door into the main bedroom with a ceiling fan. There was a very large walk-in closet as well. And then my favorite part of the place was the sunroom. So this sunroom was an addition. It had windows throughout the entire room, and it had an extra little storage space as well, which was nice. For pros and cons, pros were the large square footage. We loved that it was so large and had a lot of storage space as well. The laundry hookups were nice. The huge kitchen and updated appliances were nice with the microwave and dishwasher. We also loved that there were vaulted ceilings. That was really cool. And the ceiling fan was also a nice touch. The sunroom was also really nice to have, the 2 bedrooms and walk-in closets, but the only con that we really found about this place was the price. It was a little too expensive for us, so that was something that we really had to keep in mind if we really, really wanted it. We actually ended up not getting this place because of the price. If the price was lower, we probably would be there, but we aren't, so that's unfortunate. Apartment number 9. We're getting there, you guys, I promise. This place was a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom unit, about 1,100 square feet, and roughly $1,280 a month for base rent. So relatively well within budget, and it was in a really cute little neighborhood as well. So let's go into the video here. Walking in, you immediately get met with a linen closet type of thing, which was nice. And then there is the guest bedroom right next to it with a nice big window and nice walk-in closet, ensuite bathroom, which was nice, full shower and everything. A lot of vanity space as well, which was nice. And then the main living space was relatively small, but it was a good size for just the 2 of us, and it had this really nice sunroom area. As you can tell by the end of these videos, there's a lot of sunrooms coming up. But the kitchen was also relatively updated, although there was no microwave. There was just a dishwasher, so that was kind of a con for us. There was laundry hookups though. The units were not included, but the laundry hookups themselves were there. And then the main bedroom had this patio space, which was nice, big window, ensuite bathroom, looked pretty much the exact same as the other bathroom, although for some reason this bathroom had less counter space for like vanity purposes, so I thought that was a little weird. And then a nice walk-in closet as well. So that was that place. And then outside on the patio space was an attached storage room for like Christmas tree or like winter clothes, that kind of thing, for like out of season stuff, you can put stuff in there too. So for pros, the location and price were also very nice. Like the location was in a cute part of town without being like in the center of everything. The price was relatively comfortable in our budget. The development itself was very residential. It felt like we were kind of in the middle of nowhere while also being attached to other things. The natural lighting was also really nice. The sunroom, awesome. I loved having that sunroom, and someone's outside with their big old truck, so I'm sorry about that if you heard that. But anyways, they had nice walk-in closets. They did not have a microwave, which was unfortunate, but they had the dishwasher, so that was cool. And then the laundry hookups, like I said before. So those were kinds of the things that we liked and didn't like about apartment number 9. We're getting to our last apartment before I actually reveal which apartment we picked. Apartment number 10. This had options, so this is why I put it at the end of the video. We actually saw this in one of our first tours, but I wanted to put it at the end to kind of explain how I videotaped this place. So we saw 2 different layouts of the place. We saw a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, and a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom. The 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom was not updated, and the 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom was updated. So there was like a toss-up between, do we want another bathroom or do we want the updates? And the 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom had a sunroom option as well, which we loved. So we'll talk about that in a minute. Square footage ranged from about 980 to 1,100 square feet. So it was a fairly large apartment, and then the rent varied from 1,300 to 1,410 a month, depending on the apartment layout that you got. So those were the 2 units that we saw. We're gonna first start out with the things that are the same in both apartments. So that would pretty much just be the like kitchen living space and the main bedroom. I started off in the bathroom again for some reason, but the main bedroom had an ensuite bathroom, which was nice, and it was Jack and Jill style. So this bathroom was also going to function as the like main living space bathroom. This was the 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment, by the way. If it were 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, then this bathroom would have been closed off and just been for the 1-bedroom. I don't know if that made any sense, but anyways, going into the main bedroom, it was really, really nicely lit. It was fairly large as well, and it had really nice closet space. Had a laundry hookup option, and then the updated appliance version. This was really nice. I love the stainless steel. It had the dishwasher and the microwave attached, which was nice. And then this comes the variable part of the apartment. So going into the version that is updated but only has the 1-bathroom and without the sunroom, it had a patio instead, but you can see that here. And then going into the guest bedroom, this had such great natural lighting. I loved the natural light of this place. It also had a nice little closet in there. But going into the 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom layout, it had this really cute sunroom. We loved the fact that it had the natural lighting and the extra square footage. And there was an extra closet, which was awesome. The guest bathroom, instead of it just having the closet, it also had the ensuite bathroom. So that meant that the bathroom that we saw at the very beginning of this apartment was closed off to just a single bedroom instead of it being the main bathroom for the whole place. That is that apartment. I hope that made sense. But as far as pros and cons go, the pros were, it was so cute on the outside. It was gorgeous as far as curb appeal goes. It was bricked. It was charming. It was so adorable. It was also gated and walkable. They had a walkable lake that you could walk around if you wanted to, which was nice. The location within the city was also awesome. It was about 25 minutes away from Zeke's work, which was awesome. I loved the updated appliances, the option for 2 bathrooms, and the option for the sunroom. And then the storage space, awesome. And the laundry hookups was also really nice. The only thing that we didn't really like about the place was the layout of the main living space. Because of the fact that there was a fireplace there, we didn't want to block it with our like media console situation, but we didn't know if we were allowed to mount an actual TV on the wall or not. So that was really the only thing that we didn't really like about the place. So that is all of the apartments, which leads me to the grand reveal of the apartment that we chose. We decided to go with apartment number 7. We love this place so much. It met our needs perfectly. It was in the perfect little part of the city. It had that extra office, which we loved. That was definitely the selling point for us. I'm literally sitting in said office space now. This is going to be like my little filming / work from home room. And we have our guest bedroom that is currently set up as like Zeke's little hideout with his desk set up. It is so cute. We love this place. We have loved living here, and I cannot wait to show you all of the ins and outs of it in my next video. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, if you like this video, please leave a like. I would really appreciate it. Subscribe down below for more from me. All of the moving content is coming. I cannot wait to show you all of the updates that we have done to the place. It is so cute already. Even without any furniture in it, we've done so many things to the place that makes it feel like home, and we love it here. So with that said, I will see you guys in my next video.